Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are starting with Unit 6, which is about modules, right? Okay. So, if you quit from the Python interpreter and enter it again, the definitions you have made, which are the functions and variables, they are lost, right? So, till now, till the previous lecture, I have used Python interpreter only, right? Which is the shell. In shell mode, we were writing the codes and all. So, you might have noticed that as soon as I quit it, okay, or you close it, then in that case what happens, whatever functions, variables and all we have defined, everything is lost, right? So that shell mode is fine for, for interactive purpose, like we are learning something, we are practicing and all, very immediate uh, result if you want to see, then in that case shell mode is fine, okay. But what happens is that if you want to write a somewhat longer program, you are better off using a text editor to prepare the input for the interpreter and running it with that file as input instead, right? So what is happening, that as I said, that shell mode we can use for interactive purpose and all, right? Very immediately result you want, small codes you have to write and just see the output and all. So for that purpose we can use the shell mode. But if you're writing long programs, projects and all, if you're building, right, then and also that program you need it again and again, maybe later also, then in that case that shell mode is something which we cannot use, right? Because as soon as we close it or we quit the interpreter, again we will have to write the code again, right? So for that case what we should do, actually we should create a file, right, in any text editor, and then that file we can run using the Python interpreter and all. So after that, so in that case what will happen, that again and again we don't have to write the code, okay, the program will be written always. Now this is known as creating a script. So that file which we are creating, that is what it is known as, creating script, and this is known as script mode, okay. Now as your program gets longer, you may want to split it into several files for easier maintenance, right? So if our programs become very big, in that case what we try to split our program into small pieces, right? And why we do that, for easier maintenance and all, right? Because error checking will be fine there, any kind of update we have to do, some changes we have to do, so that is easier in that case, okay. You may also want to use a handy function that you have written in several programs without copying its definition into each program. So this also can be there, that whenever big programs you're writing, it happens most of the time that a common function is there, and that common function you want to use in all the files, in multiple programs you want to use that function, right? So in that case also what we can do, we can create a file, and that same file we can use in all the programs, right? So all of these purpose which I have discussed right now, for those things what we can do, one solution is to create a module, okay. So to support this, Python has a way to put definitions in a file and use them in a script or in an interactive instance of the interpreter, right? So what is happening, for doing all this task, what we can do, we can actually create a file, right? In that file all our definitions and everything can be stored, okay, which is of course in script mode, because we are not writing in the shell, and it will be there with us later also. So we can create a script, and after that, that script we can use again and again in various programs multiple times, right? So that file which we are creating, that file itself is known as what, is known as a module, okay. So what is a module? A module is a file where you are going to write and save the most commonly used functions and variables definition, okay. So definitions from a module can be imported. As you can see here, this word has been, okay, highlighted in this way by writing it in italic, okay. So what is the meaning here? That whatever module we are creating, that we need to import into other modules, or maybe in the main module, okay. So main module, the collection of variables that you have access to in a script executed at the top level and in calculated mode. So main module is the main, from where directly, which is the top level, okay. So from there the execution and everything is done, okay. All right. So I hope you understood what is module. It is a file where all the definitions are present. And this module we have to import to other modules and the main module also. Okay. So a module is a file, right, which contains Python definitions and statements. So this is the overall definition of a module. Okay. The file name is the module name with the suffix .py. So whatever file name you are going to create, no matter what name you give, okay, but always it should have the extension as .py. Okay. By this .py, actually it is understood as a Python file. Okay. Now within a module, the module's name as a string is available as the value of the global variable. So one global variable we are having like this. Okay. So using this, we can access the name of the module. Okay. For instance, use your favorite text editor to create a file called fibo.py in the current directory with the following contents. Okay, so now you can go to your text editor, whatever you are using, and you can create a file. Okay, so here one example has been given of Fibonacci series, but if you want, you can create some other kind of file also, which is doing maybe some other task. Okay, so I will be showing you right now with something different, but let us just go through this once. So here, as you can see, here two functions has been created. It is one file, right? And what is the name of this file? It has been saved as fibo.py. Okay. Now, so here first function is there whose name is only fib, right? And here what is happening? The Fibonacci series, the numbers are getting generated and directly they are printed. Okay. And one more function has been created in the same file whose name is fib2. Okay, and here what is happening? It is also creating Fibonacci series, but it is getting stored in a list. Okay, so that is the only difference. Earlier list is not there, directly it is getting printed, and here list is there and the list is containing the elements. Okay, all right. Now what we will have to do, now you can go to some Python interpreter. Okay, and then you have to write this import fibo. Why fibo? Because this is the name of your module. So since this you want to use, you have to write that name. If your file name is something else, then that particular name you write here. Okay. Now what happens? This does not add the names of the functions defined in fibo directly to the current namespace. Okay. So what is happening? Since you have imported here fibo, don't think like this, that this function names, which is fib, okay, which is this fib and this fib2, these names have also been included. These names are not present still. Okay, and that is why directly these names you cannot use. Then what you have to do? So as you can see, it only adds the module name fibo there. Okay, so when you are writing import fibo, then only the name of the module is imported. Other names are not included. So that is why what we have to do, using the module name, you can access the functions. That means in what way? So you have to write in this way. You have to write the module name and using that you have to call the function. Directly if you think that fib of 1000 I will write, that is not allowed. Fibo.fib of 1000, this is what you have to write. Okay, because this fib is not present in the current file. Okay, so using this fibo you have to refer that in this module whatever this function is there, that I am calling. Okay, then whatever value is getting passed, and this is the series which is getting printed. Okay, similarly for fib2 also you can call it this way and it is getting printed. Then as it was written that this underscore name underscore, okay, this is what it is, a global variable. So from this you can access the name of the module, right? So how to do that? So it is written here fibo dot and then name you can write like this, so the name of the module you will get. Okay, now, if you intend to use a function, often you can assign it to a local name. Okay. Now, let us say this fibo.fib, right? This function, let us say this name actually, this fibo.fib, this entire name you are going to use a lot. In that case, what you can do, you can actually assign a shorter local name to it. Okay. So fib. So now only you can directly call fib of 500. So it will be called. Okay. Because this is storing actually fibo.fib indirectly. Okay, so if you're using it a lot, then you can give a local name, otherwise you can refer using the module name also. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about modules. So let us go to the other part now and see some of the codes practically. Okay, now here let us say, so this is my main.py, right? This is the main module. So here let us say right now if I write something like this, okay, that is print of, let us say, find sum, okay, 2 comma 3. Now find sum is not any standard function, right? It is not present in any of the library or so of Python, right? But I'm trying to do this. In that case, what will happen? So if I run this, I am getting error, right? So as you can see, I am getting name error. Okay, name find sum is not defined. Clear it is? Okay. So now what we have to do, so you can see here, now here I will be creating a new file. Okay, so new file name, let us say I am writing as my module dot py. You have to always end with py, right? It already exists. Okay, no problem. Okay, it can be just module dot py also, not a problem, right? So this is the name of my module. Okay, now here I will be defining some functions. Okay, let us do that. So let us say find sum I am writing. Okay, and here I am taking two values, that is a comma b, and then here we can return it directly. So return a plus b. This is what I have done. Okay, all right. Now another function, let us say define product maybe. Okay, so product of n1 comma n2 comma n3, right? Like this, and then we can return what? n1 into n2 into n3, right? So these are the two functions which I have created here. These are the definitions, okay, but I'm not calling it here. I'm not calling these functions here, nothing. It is just that this file I have created, and here in this file whatever most commonly functions I will use, that I have stored along with their definition, right? Now these functions, if I want to use in main.py, like right now I was not able to use this find sum, right? So in that case, but if I want to use, then what I have to do, I have to write here import. Okay, I have to write here import module, written like this. After that, so now it will run. No, now also you will get error. Actually what you have to write, only this module name is available, right? So that is why you have to write it this way, module dot find sum. This if you write, now it is valid. Okay, so now if I print here, as you can see 5 is properly printed because the sum is this. Okay, similarly in the very similar manner you can write here print and then module, right? So module dot product, and then after that here you can pass some values, okay, like this, and then so minus 28 is printed. Okay, minus 1 into 7 into 4 minus 28 is printed. Okay, all right. Now if I want to know the name, if I want to know the name of, okay, this module, so what I have to write, I have to write actually like this, module dot and then name like this. Okay, so now if I print it, then as you can see this is the name of my module which has been printed, right? Okay, after that I think something else was also there. Okay, so we can okay, name it, right? So actually if you see what we can do, this whatever is there, right, that is module. Okay, we can just write it like product is there, right? So I can just write here pro, okay, and then I can write here module dot product, because let us say this product I want to find a lot of times. Okay, I'm going to use it multiple times, so then using such a big name is little hectic for me, right? In that case what I can do, I can just rename this using a local name which is pro. Okay, now using this I can call the functions. Okay, so let us say print what? Pro. Now you can pass whatever values you want like this. Okay, so now 42 is printed because you can see the numbers. Okay, 3 into 7 into 2. So this is 42 is getting printed. Similarly, you can do it for find sum also, right? So fs or any name you can write, and then that you can use it in your program, right? So this was the brief introduction about module, that how you can create what is module, and then how to import and how to basically use it. Okay. So more on modules we are going to study in the next video. So I'm ending this lecture here. Thank you.